welcome to another edition of the Food and Farm Show from the Nevada County Fairgrounds. I'm your host, Cheryl Noble.
And I'm Gil Dominguez, and today we are here at the Cattle Arena, and this is where all the people come to show their different steers, Cheryl, and it's one of the bigger arenas in the whole fairgrounds, and as you can see, lots of people are around us.
And a lot of young exhibitors, too, today. So be sure to join us every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. for the Food and Farm Show. You can watch us on Channel 11 and Channel 16 and ACTV Channel 20 and also 24/7 on our YouTube channel, which is the Food and Farm Show.
So we have lots of exhibits for you. As you know, all the competition is being recorded by the Food and Farm Show. Today, we're going to start with cattle.
Sounds good to me. Let's get started.
Taylor Foster and Taylor Stafford to the ring, please, for our final senior showmanship class for FFA. We need to have ringside then our 4-H novice showman. So we'd like to have ringside Megan Volheim, Maddie Odell. Oops, I'm sorry. Maddie Odell, Macy Fowler, Sarah Borcher, Kaylee Hockey, Helen Sands, Sydney Franks, Abel King, and Jeannie King. All ringside, please. This is our 4-H novice showmanship class. Ringside, please. I'd like to reintroduce our judge today, which is Blaine Rogers from Sanger, California. He's a graduate of Modesto Junior College in Cal Poly with a degree in animal science and was a member of the livestock judging team. He's currently the sales manager for OH Cruise, Grain, and Milling, and is the owner of Rogers Livestock. I'd like to give him a big round of applause for being here and helping these kids today.
Anyway, because I have the nap tomorrow. It's a busy. I know my wife was asking, she's like, "You better put her like top." Maybe I'm wrong. I just heard it talking to my mom. Now it's just recently. I know he's not working anymore. And I think my brother bought it. Yeah, that's neat. Hi, it's Jake. I just missed your call. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I talked to you the other day.
Tell her every year.
Bye, Sandy.
Because they played a game.
Demonstration. Demonstration.
Well, let's go ahead and give these exhibitors a big round of applause. Just an outstanding market steer showmanship, or FFA showmanship here in our finals, and just I can't say enough for how good a showman we have all the way through. And obviously, this is already the results of a couple of heats. So all the way down, we're dealing with people that can really show. And it's really challenging to come out here, honestly, and put a placing on it, because I commend her for that. Just an outstanding showman in here. The young man in third is a really good showman, and at times, I'll be honest, I had you as high as winning the class, and you did a great job in answering questions. For me, there's one thing, and a little bit of it's how your steer is, but he wants to kind of hold his head straight out instead of kind of keeping it up, and at times he kind of lower his head and hold it straight out. Just try and keep him a little more alert and get that the neck, or his neck coming straight up out of the top of his shoulder, and it'll give him a little bit better a look out here. But you do a great job in terms of getting his feet and legs set up, and your presence, and how you go about showing him. Just an outstanding showman. Young lady in fourth with the Charlet steer really does a nice job, and getting that steer set up. Maybe at times just get those hind legs staggered just a little bit more for me, but that steer has a really nice silhouette, and you do a great job, just really calm in the way you present him, and I appreciate that for that part of you. The young lady that is in fifth, her steer, maybe at times he's one that you got to pull together. He's a steer that really looks good on the walk, and sometimes he gets just a little easier topped out here, and she does a nice job in keeping that together. Just at times watch your feet and leg placement. I like on the side profile to have them staggered just a little bit, and when you line them up in here, just to square them up from behind. Just work on your feet and leg placement a little more. An outstanding showman as well. Young man that comes next does a great job when I ask him a question, or asked him questions in terms of getting those answers right. A very good showman as well. Maybe just a little more intensity and work on your posture out here in terms of the way you present this calf, but an outstanding job as well, just to get a little bit more aggressive, and I think you can work your way up the lineup also. As we get down here, cattle maybe that just didn't quite get set up as efficiently and quickly, watching your spot and line and keeping it straight, but very good showman. Obviously, you made the cut and you worked your way all the way up from the earlier round, so I commend you guys for that. Once again, let's give them all a big round of applause. Outstanding singer,
Okay, our first place winner for our senior FFA showman is Heath Mullen. Goes to Taylor Foster, which she was our third goes to Garrett Ramsauer. Fourth to Erica Granholm. Fifth to Kendall Brazil Blocky. Sixth place to Shane Green. Seventh to Joseph Frank. And eighth to Taylor Stafford, which was also our transfer from our novice showmanship class. Can we have to the ring, please, our 4H novice showman, and we would like you to check in by name at the gate as you enter the ring, please. Okay, can we have ringside our junior 4-H showman, Nicole Nielsen, Beth Robinson, Hunter Lane, Macy Borchert, and Dakota Wilson. Ringside, please, for our junior showmanship for 4-H.
Wait.
The top two places in this class, which is our novice showmanship class, will transfer to our junior showmanship class. And then the top two from the junior showmanship class will transfer to our senior class.
Wait, Caleb. Alex. Can you get that from Caleb? Thank you.
48 minutes. Okay, so you're just hanging out what? No, I'll keep it, just try it again. You never know. But, alright. I don't know what we're dealing with right now, he just told me to come check you.
You want me to get some? You want to give me something to drink?
Willow. You sure?
it's always a lot of fun to work with these younger exhibitors, and I just like to start off by congratulating all of them on a great job. Let's give them a big round of applause. It's been a long day, and these cattle have been up for quite a long period of time, and so they're starting to get a little tired, and I commend them all for doing such a great job of getting them out here and presented so well. It really comes down to the top two here on the outside, and in terms of who we're going to use first and second. For me, there's one that maybe just is a little bit more aggressive in terms of getting feet placement and really being relentless on it. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the young lady here directly in front of me, and she'll be your showmanship winner. Congratulations. You know, throughout the entire process, she did a great job in terms of keeping that steer set up, and at one point that other steer jumped on top of hers, and it got spooked away from her. But I mean, to me, showmanship and getting these things done is how you react to situations, and she didn't miss a beat. She got that steer right back into where he needed to be, and really, I mean, it wasn't her fault to start with, and she just, it never fazed her. She got right back into the mode of getting the steer shown, and I just commend her for that. Great job. And second, this young lady, she's, you can tell she's got a smile on her face. She's happy to be out here. She does a great job. She had the difficult task of kind of making everybody, getting everybody to follow her around the ring, and so it's a little bit more difficult knowing where to line up and stuff, and she did a great job in that. Maybe a few things to work on when you come in on how to line up, but you know, you were the fortunate one to get to do that, and everybody else was lucky enough to follow you and get to know where to go. So just work on a few of those details, work on being a little more consistent, keeping his head up, which I know it gets tough. Your arm starts getting tired out here, but you do a great job in getting that calf set up and moving him around the ring, and I commend you for that. The young lady in third, what a showman here, just really calm and really does a great job all the time. There was a few times where maybe she had that calf stretched out a little bit, or the feet placement was just a little off, but you can tell she's going to be a heck of a showman as she goes forward, and I think it'll be fun to watch her as she gets older. Next in line, in fourth, another great showman. At times, just work on keeping that steer's head up a little bit more, and it'll give you a little more control where he doesn't move quite as much on you. But you do a great job when you've got him sitting there set up. Just really got a lot of future ahead of you as well. In fifth, another really good showman. At times, maybe just get that heifer a little stretched out. You can kind of keep her bunched up a little bit more. I think she'll look a little better, but you do a great job. You're really calm, and I like your presence out here. In fifth, another very good showman. Your steer was kind of a little bit antsier out here today, and that becomes a little bit more of a challenge to get them shown, but I'm proud of you for sticking with it, really working at it and working your way up. Next we have another showman that does a great job. I think just with a little more time and experience in the ring and cooperation with your calf, you can move up. You do a great job as well. And likewise with the young man that comes next, just a little more time in the ring I think will help you, but you do a good job and your presence is really good. You do a nice job of staying relaxed. Once again, let's give them all a big round of applause.
First place goes to Sydney Frank, second to Helen Zan, third to Sarah Borchert, fourth to Macy Fowler, fifth to Jeannie King, sixth to Kayla Toffee, seventh to Maddie Odell, and eighth to Abel King. And I'd like to remind you that our first and second place winners from this will transfer to our junior class, so they need to stay in the ring.
know, Ben, if I was no, I can't. Ah!
Also at the top of the hour, touched by Dave Secret Age, Black Light Puppet Show. Coming up in half an hour at 1 o'clock.
Way too much ghosts.
I ate more goats instead. No, I ate dairy cat, dairy goats.
I wonder if Mike can hear us. Hi, Gil. Someone I know came up and took the hair out. He was like, he's not. I don't like it.
For our 4-H Junior Beef Showmanship class, we have a plaque that is sponsored by Kathy and Bill Capola.
Well, what an outstanding round of showmanship. Let's give them all a big round of applause. I'll be the first to admit that all the way through the class, I mean, it is really close, and there's, we could probably debate a lot of these placings back and forth, and I wouldn't argue with any of you because they're all really good showmen, and a lot of it comes down to what I get to see, the couple seconds that I look at each one of them, and which one's animal may be cooperating with them at that particular point. And I try to really make sure that you see everything, but obviously, you know, for those of you that are sitting ringside, you're watching one particular person. I'm trying to watch everyone, and so sometimes you might miss a little mistake that's made, or catch them when they don't have them quite set up or whatever. But for the most part, I mean, these guys are really good showmen, and it comes down to these two here. And for me, there's one that just has been a little more consistent and has a steer that's maybe just a little more difficult to get their hind legs set up just right, but they always continue to keep it right where they need to be, and really I like their presence and their calmness and the way they go about it. That's going to be the young lady. We're going to go this steer, kind of the way he wants to set his hind leg down, just is a little more challenging to get him set up just right, but she always has that calf set up, I mean, right where you want him to be, and her presence, and she keeps that steer's head up, and she's working her way up through the ranks here, and so she's shown a couple more times, and so, you know, that calf is just really working with her, and I commend her for that. The young man in second is a very good showman as well, and to be honest with you, he kind of worked his way up throughout this class. He's one that maybe at first doesn't just jump out and grab your attention, and maybe that's where you can improve just a little bit, is just get a little more aggressive in your approach and your posture. But really, I mean, you've done as good a job as anyone in keeping that steer set up till right here at the end. He's kind of fighting you a little bit, but I commend you for that, and you did a great job. Just an outstanding showman. The young lady with the shorthorn steer, I think this showman's going to be really good as she goes along and gets a little more ring experience. The biggest thing for me today was there was a couple times right here in the end when I had you on the side profile that you had the opposite leg up a little bit far, and you want to keep him staggered and the leg closest to me back, and it'll kind of help level his top line and his hip out. And so that was basically the one factor, and he kind of got out of line a couple times and was giving you a hard time, but you stuck with it and did a really good job, and I'm proud of you for that. Young man with the Hereford heifer that comes next is a really good showman as well. Maybe at times just get a little more aggressive, and you did a great job. You were the first one going around. You did a really good job there. I think a great showman that just work on your feet and leg placement just a little bit closer and keep practicing, because you have the ability to work your way right up to the top of the class very easily. Next, obviously a really good showman. You came up through the rankings, and it starts getting tired or hard because your arm starts getting tired and your calf's getting tired, but you're a great showman. You can get them set up as good as anyone, and I think you got a great future ahead of you. Just keep working, and you know, I know it's a stamina deal as it comes down out here. I'd really like to comment on the next young lady. I think you are an outstanding showman, and I think from a standpoint of your presence and the way your posture is and the way you present that heifer, you do as good a job as anyone. There's one thing today that if you could change on it, you'd work your way all the way up to the front of the line, and that's when you set the hind legs up on that heifer when you're on the side profile over there, you kept wanting to put the leg that was closest to me forward, trying to switch it where that one's back and it'll set him. That's kind of how we like to set him up. You switch that one little thing and you can work your way all the way to the top because you're a really good showman. Just a little technical issue in terms of getting that calf set up. How you have it set up right now with that, if I was on this side, that's perfect how the hind leg's set up right there if we were on the side profile. When you bring them in here, you want to square them up, but on the side, you get that hind leg deal down and you'll be right up in the top because you've got a lot of a really good ability. Young man, also a very good showman here, and maybe just get a little more aggressive out here today. I mean, it is deep waters out here and all the way down. Just outstanding showman. Just keep that head cranked up and get a little more aggressive, but you're a great showman also. Once again, let's give them all a big round of applause. It's an outstanding group of showmen.
Nevada County Farm Supply has been part of the agricultural scene since 1993. Their staff consists of a certified crop advisor, licensed pest control advisor, and irrigation auditor. In Penn Valley, they have a full-service nursery with over 500 varieties of plants and garden enhancements. In Grass Valley, they have a warehouse full of soil amendments, fertilizers, and nutrients. Nevada County Farm Supply, powerful knowledge and innovative solutions. Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply is dedicated to the health of your pets and livestock. They offer the top brands of nutrition and carry the complete line of products from Bar Ale and Purina animal feeds along with Diamond and Canaday. They carry rice and wheat hay bales for your gardening needs, as well as alfalfa, grass hay, and grain for your livestock. It's Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply, supporting Nevada County agriculture since 1992. It's time to visit the newly remodeled B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. The new B&C has completely changed for your shopping convenience. Their new expanded garden center has everything you need, including expert advice on trees, shrubs, and perennials. Check out their new website and the new spring hours. And thank you for voting B&C the best hardware and building supply in 2012. So start right, start here at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center.
Anything Green Hydroponics is your source for hydro systems, grow lights, and soils. Anything Green offers a complete range of organic nutrients as well as fungicides, miticides, and predatory bugs. Anything Green Hydroponics has just received this year's soil. Get your totes, pallets, or individual bags. Stay tuned for future workshops. It's all at Anything Green Hydroponics.
Here, intermediate buck class, we have 4 entries, all 4 different breeds. 4th place is going to be our Flemish, Blaze. Blaze is way too short for a Flemish. He's never going to have proper breed character. He's going to be way too refined. Looks like he's maybe a crossbred with the head ear that he's got. He does have a deep round hip, fairly full lower hip, but we just need to see him much longer to show the mandolin shape. This breed actually has a minimum body length, which he's going to have a hard time ever making. He's also going to have a hard time making the minimum ear length. His color is too dark and smutty. He does have pretty good flesh condition. He is 4th place.
Just tell them and I think that you had a lapse, right? So you may not be. Yeah, I missed. Well, they said
Okay, 3rd is our Red New Zealand X5.
It's actually the new now.
This buck has a good shoulder and midsection, but he peaks too soon. In other words, the high point's too far forward, and then he tends to slope off his hip. He lacks fullness in the lower hip. He's got a really nice coat today, just not completely finished. Color's coming in nicely over the back, but it's uneven on the sides, and he gets really light on the tail and belly and crotch. Almost a white tail there. So he is 3rd. And then our Beverin is 2nd place. That one's R83. He has really good length of body. He's got the length to show the mandolin shape, that gradual rise and taper through the shoulder that we want to see. He's got good depth over the hip. He just lacks some fullness in the lower hip. He's a little bit multi today over the back. He's got good length to the coat and really nice feel to the coat, but it's just in between too much. He is 2nd. And that leaves us with a Champagne buck in 1st place. And that one's C732. He's got really nice body. He's got the proper length. Starts his rise right behind the ear and the shoulder and comes up really well over the midsection and peaks over the hip properly. He's got a very wide loin. He lacks a little fullness in the lower hip. He's got good texture and density of the coat. It's just not completely finished, but good color. The undercolor is really intense, which is what we want to see. And he's got the proper amount of silvering over the top. Just a little uneven because of the molt. He's got some stain down the hip. Very nice buck. So we'll keep him. These other 3 can all go back. Take your ribbon. Bring junior bucks. AK. She's going to be 3rd. She's a Beverin doe. Kind of nice to see these Beverins at a county fair. Something, a breed we don't normally see. They're a fairly rare breed. They're actually registered with the Rare Breeds Conservancy as a heritage breed, and I think they're considered either endangered or under watch. But at any rate, it's nice to see him here at county fair. This doe is going to be 3rd as she's a little bit refined in bone. She's off in weight. She'd be under our minimum weight. She does have good shape to her body. Good mandolin shape and length through the shoulder and very good depth over the top of the hip. Just needs to see, we need to see more bone on her, a bolder head, a little longer, thicker ear. She's got really nice blue color. We want to see a nice soft shade of blue. She has that. She has very good texture to her coat. Her coat's a little bit short. We want to see a little longer coat on a Beverin. Still a nice representative of the breed. Champagne is going to be second in this class, C727. She's very wide in her body. She has really good shoulder and midsection, but she peaks way too soon. The highest point of the body is way too far forward, more towards the center of the back. We want to see it over her back here over the center of the hip. So she peaks too soon and then tends to slope off the hip pretty severely. She lacks some fullness in the lower hip as well. She's very dense in coat, pretty good texture, just likes finish. She's starting to lighten a little bit in her undercolor compared to the buckle we had. She's a little bit too light on top, and then she's got some urine stain on her hip there, also spoiling the color. Not a bad doe. And then our red New Zealand doe is going to be first. Z2. She's a very nice doe. Well balanced and blended body, really round and full over the hip, nice turn over the top of the hip. She has excellent texture to her coat. Fairly good density. She's the best finished in the class. Her red color could be more intense, but it's very even. Very nice first place. Okay, we're just going to go right on to our intermediates. There's only two. Okay, second place, RR7. She's a black Beverin doe. She's second mainly because of her bone and her breed character. She lacks the bold head, the thick ear, ears are carried together. All those things take away from her overall breed character. In addition then, she's too short in body, more of a commercial type body instead of the mandolin shape or the semi-arch shape that we're looking for. She peaks too soon, more towards the middle of the back, and then slopes off her hip. She has a really wide loin though, a full lower hip. She's in better flesh condition than first place, and her coat's more finished, but her coat is the wrong structure. It's too short, it's pretty thin. We need to see a much denser coat and longer guard hair on her. She's a little uneven in color. She's got some rusty spots down on her hip. The winner.
What do they do?
R6 or RP6. Okay. She's got a little bit more breed character. Her ears are carried apart a bit. They're a little thicker, but still too short and just not near bold enough of a head. Very snipey about her head. She's got good depth of body, more correct high point, a little more length, but still not enough length to show the really proper mandolin shape that we're looking for. Her coat has more length, but it's more unfinished today. She's a little splotchy in color. So the other doe had some things that were better about her, but overall, I think this doe has more breed character, and she's going to be first. No junior does?
Since we only have one division for the heavyweights today, we're going to go ahead and award the best heavyweight and reserve heavyweight. We normally do that in the best of show round, but since we already know who the winner is, I'll go ahead and give the plaques out for the heavyweights. The lightweights are just going to have to wait for the best of show round though, because we have lots of different divisions there.
Okay, our best opposite heavyweight is going to be the Champagne buck. Intermediate Champagne buck. This guy here. Very, very nice animal. The New Zealand doe, the senior doe, is going to be our best. She's a little refined, a little light, but I just like the blending of her body better. She's in the best condition of all of our class winners. It's a very nice animal. The New Zealand doe best, Champagne buck best opposite. Give those kids a hand. This is our Mini Rex senior buck class. We have 10 of them. They are all Mini Rex. They're just grouped by all the colors are grouped together. So we have several different varieties in here. But 10th place is going to be this broken buck, A5. He has a really good hindquarter. From here back, he's very nice. He's very deep. He's correct where he peaks. He's well filled into the lower hip. It's the front half that's his problem. He's too long through his shoulder. He's very flat through the shoulder. And then his head and ear are off. The head is very narrow, angular in the muzzle. Ears are way too long and thin. He's obviously in a bad molt today. The front half of the coat is all molted out. Our new coat's just starting to come in. We can't tell much about it yet. The old coat, even though it's dead, still feels pretty dense. It's just a little too soft. The color is uneven. The old coat's got a little bit of a rusty tinge. You can go back. Blue Otter broken is going to be next. AB2. He's really short in body and he has a good shoulder and midsection, but he's too flat at his hip. He's very flat over the top and very square in the lower part of the hip. Again, his head's pretty narrow and snipey. He's got a better ear. His coat is very soft and then he's open over the back. Mainly beaten on depth of body. AB1. Okay, this animal has a little better head, still not as nice as some of the heads ahead of him, or some of the bucks ahead of him. His ears have good length, but they're a little thin. He's got very good length of body, and he shows nice taper from front to back. And he's full in the lower hip, but he fails in his top line. Again, we peak too soon, tends to slope off of his hip. Just doesn't have enough depth to balance with all the width that he has. He's in a pretty bad molt again, over the shoulder and over the hip. Old coat still has a lot of density, but it's soft and unfinished. A few white hairs over the hip as well. Go back.
I'll make sure I wasn't paying attention.
CX8 or CXB.
I think I wrote CB18. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
This buck's ears have good length, they just lack some substance. Head's a little bolder on him. But again, we've got a wide, short body that just isn't deep enough. You want to see the depth of the height, or the height of the body as if to equal the width. Should be that way all the way through. It's much easier at the shoulder, but when we get back to the hip, it's hard to get them as tall as they are wide. This buck fails there. He's got a more finished coat, but it's too soft and it's very thin, and then he has a ton of scattered white hairs throughout. That's a pretty significant fault. He's got good undercolor, but the ring color is way too wide, even though it's very bright and well defined. He can go back. The other caster buck in the class is going to be next. V24 or V29. Okay, the bucks from here on out have better bodies. All of them have pretty consistent bodies. We've got more depth and roundness on this buck. He's very short. He's got a well-filled lower hip. He's got a really nice head and a thick ear. He fails almost entirely in coat. We want to see him very dense. He's pretty thin. He's a little too soft. He is even in coat, but he fails a bit in color. The ring's really well defined, but it's dull, and then the surface color's got a bit of a grayish cast. But nice body on him. Okay, right beside him is going to be next CV39. Another good head, good shape to the ear. He's got a lot of depth. He's just a little narrow in the shoulder and lacks some filling in the lower hip, but he's got more density than the last buck. That's why he's beating him. He's still a tad soft in texture. He lacks some finish throughout. He's a little rusty in his color, but like his depth of body and his density on the coat. So you have 4 left?
Yeah.
Okay, 4th place is A3. He's a nice buck. He's real short, very deep and round. He's very correct where he peaks over the hip. He just lacks a little bit of fullness in the lower hip. His coat's dense, but it's pretty dead. There's a new coat just starting to break at the shoulder. The rest of this coat is getting ready to slip. So it's got a little bit of a rusty color. Just doesn't have quite the life and feel to it that the remaining bucks have, but he's very nice. Third is B2. He has excellent height. He's really short, he's very, very deep, very correct where he peaks, very round over the hip. He's firm in flesh. He has good density to his coat, but he fails in texture, he's too soft, and then he's molting. He's got a strip around the base. It's really uneven, still molting out an old dead coat there. So that's what he's going to lose on because he has a very nice body. Okay, second. Day, D-A-E. Day has an excellent head, a good ear, and again, good body. He's a little longer than the last buck, and he's not quite as full in the lower hip, but he still profiles really nice. He's got a lot of depth over his hip. He's got good texture and pretty good finish. He just lacks some density to both 1st and 3rd place. He's getting a little rusty in color, but really nice buck. Winner, nice broken black buck. PK. These are most difficult to get to pose, but when we do, he's very nice. He's a good length and width of body. He's not quite as deep as like the 2nd and 3rd place buck. They both had a little more depth and rounding over the top of the hip. This buck's still short and he blends well from front to back, and then he's got a really nice coat. The best density, the best texture in the class. You see a little bit of dead hair coming out, but he's actually the most finished as well. His coat is all new, it's all fresh. So it's got a really nice feel to it, a nice spring and resistance to it. He is first, we'll keep him, and the rest of the class can all go back.
That's you.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Food and Farm Show. Be sure to join us every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. for the Food and Farm Show. You can watch us on Channel 11 and Channel 16 and ACTV Channel 20, and also 24/7 on our YouTube channel, which is the Food and Farm Show. It looks like they got their winners picked out from the cattle barn.
Well, it's just one of the sets of winners. They have so many different classifications. They're opening up the gate right here. So until next time, we'll see you on the Food and Farm Show. Bye.
Bye.
Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply is dedicated to the health of your pets and livestock. They offer the top brands of nutrition and carry the complete line of products from Bar Ale and Purina Animal Feeds along with Diamond and Canaday. They carry rice and wheat hay bales for your gardening needs, as well as alfalfa, grass hay, and grain for your livestock. It's Grass Valley Hay and Feed Supply, supporting Nevada County agriculture since 1992. Nevada County Farm Supply has been part of the agricultural scene since 1993. Their staff consists of a certified crop advisor, licensed pest control advisor, and irrigation auditor. In Penn Valley, they have a full-service nursery with over 500 varieties of plants and garden enhancements. In Grass Valley, they have a warehouse full of soil amendments, fertilizers, and nutrients. Nevada County Farm Supply, powerful knowledge and innovative solutions.
Anything Green Hydroponics is your source for hydro systems, grow lights, and soils. Anything Green offers a complete range of organic nutrients as well as fungicides, miticides, and predatory bugs. Anything Green Hydroponics has just received this year's soil. Get your totes, pallets, or individual bags. Stay tuned for future workshops. It's all at Anything Green Hydroponics.
Remodeled B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. The new B&C has completely changed for your shopping convenience. Their new expanded garden center has everything you need, including expert advice on trees, shrubs, and perennials. Check out their new website and the new spring hours. And thank you for voting B&C the best hardware and building supply in 2012. So start right, start here at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. Be sure to join us each week right here on NCTV Channel 11 at 6:30 to 7:30, and of course on our YouTube channel, The Food and Farm Show.